Normally we don't talk FCS versus FBS, but we made one exception on the card this week because this is on ESPN. It's going to be nationally televised. It is a pretty big game, and it's Thursday night as well. North Dakota State Bison, perennially one of the top teams in the FCS every year, and the Colorado Buffaloes. Colorado 9.5-point home favorites, 59 the total in this game. Look, there's no doubt this is a test for Colorado because North Dakota State has always been one of the top teams in FCS football. It'll be interesting to see how they are ready for that challenge here this year going into the season. I think when you look at Colorado coming into the year, we know how tumultuous it was. We know how bad they were along the offensive line, how thin they were. From all indications, they've beefed up along the offensive line, not only as far as quality and capability, but also as far as depth is concerned. And that should do a lot for Shedeur Sanders, the quarterback, and that should do a lot for Offerdahl, the running back, Travis Hunter, LeJonte Wester, Will Shepherd, and that very solid receiving core they've got. Of course, Travis Hunter, the multi-purpose of talent, of course. You'll see him line up on defense as well. So that's going to be interesting to see how that goes for Colorado this year. Certainly, they've had all summer to game plan and prep for North Dakota State. And I'll be honest, we do have a sample size, or at least something that we can work on or work with as far as an FCS versus FBS game earlier back on Saturday with Montana State and New Mexico. That game was a Montana State team that was one of the top teams in FCS football last year against a bottom-tier FBS team, and the bottom-tier FBS team nearly won the game outright as double-digit dogs and should have won. So not exactly a stirring display and one that would make you all that confident and optimistic about North Dakota State possibly on the road here in what's probably going to be a great environment at Folsom Field in Boulder on Thursday night. I'll be honest, I don't have a strong take here. So I'm just going to cut it off and say I'm probably passing this game. But if you ask me right now, if I had to make a bet, I'd actually think maybe buy low on Colorado here, quite honestly. North Dakota State, for as good as they are, they did lose some pieces, really both sides of the ball from last year, would concern me a little bit. For Colorado, look, you'd think there's going to be some progress in year 2 under Dion. We'll see if we see that progress when they get into Big 12 play. But I think for this opener, they have the capability to win and possibly win by margin. So not going to be a play for me, but I'll lean to Colorado a bit. I just didn't love what I saw from Montana State when they played New Mexico over the weekend. We looked for that FCS versus FBS, and they had a really tough time. Again, nearly lost the game as almost 2 touchdown favorites there. C-Mac, what do you think? North Dakota State, Colorado.
Yeah, I want to see, do we get 10, in this? Because I'm a little bit more interested. Because one thing, I get that you could look at this first game of the year at home, buy low for Colorado, a team, to me, it came out red hot, obviously last year with Dion. Everything's calmed down a little bit, and they have the weapons. And I think we get points. I'd also, I know we have a high total here, but how do we not look at this over? I don't think this defense is much better. And Colorado should be able to score on North Dakota State.
It's better, but when you go from terrible, are you going from terrible to okay, terrible to good? Like, how much is better? They will be better, but you're going from terrible last year. How much better?
Exactly. Yeah. And this team can run it, North Dakota State. I mean, they averaged 240 yards almost. They got the 2 quarterbacks, Miller and Payton. They're both back. So I think they can move the ball in this one. So not only I think they could keep this game close, I think we get plenty of points, and this could get over.
Everybody says they're better in the trenches. D-line, offensive line. It's still probably the biggest weakness, quite honestly. I mean, they gave up 56 fucking sacks, the offensive line last year. That's
just awful.
Horrific. 12 games and you give up 56 sacks. I mean, that's just, wow, terrible. But look, they recruited pretty solidly there. It can't be worse. The defensive line, takes a step forward. But again, you're talking about, and look, Shedeur Sanders is a great athlete, so he doesn't need immaculate offensive line. But he can't just be killed right when the ball gets
running for his life.
That happened too much last year, way too much for the Colorado Buffaloes. All right.